All right. So have you ever like stopped and thought about what your office is going to look like in like 5 years, 10 years?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, right?
Well, today we're diving deep and we're going to be looking at how Gen Z is going to like completely change the way we all work.
Oh, absolutely.
So we've got these excerpts from this article and it's called Workspaces of the Future as Gen Z Imagines and Prefers Them to Turn Out.
Okay, yeah, I've seen this one. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, so it says that Gen Z is going to be like a third of the workforce in just a few years.
Wow, a third. That's a big chunk.
Huge, right? And they like pretty much grew up online.
Right, yeah, totally different than like, us older folks.
Exactly. So they've got some pretty interesting ideas about what they want their workspaces to look like.
Yeah, I'm curious, what are some of the things they're saying?
Well, first off, they're calling them digital natives, which like makes sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, they've been using like Zoom and Slack and all that stuff since they were kids.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not surprising that they find, the whole traditional office thing a little bit,
A little like stuffy.
yeah, stuffy, outdated,
Restrictive.
totally. And the article keeps talking about how, like, Gen Z wants everything to be super flexible.
Oh, yeah, flexibility is like the number one thing for them, I think.
Right. So they want things like open plan layouts, breakout rooms,
Uh-huh.
and, oh, what are they called?
Like social hubs.
Yes,
Yeah.
social hubs. Like, think informal meeting areas,
Mm-hmm.
but with all the tech stuff built in.
Yeah, like digital whiteboards, video conferencing, all that jazz.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they kind of want to bring that cafe vibe into the office.
It's funny you say that because I was just thinking about how many people work from cafes these
Oh,
days.
yeah, like all the time.
It's like their unofficial office.
Yeah.
And Gen Z, they just kind of want to make that like official.
Yeah, totally. They want to make the office more like, well, more like a place where they actually want to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're going to be spending like 8 hours a day somewhere, it might as well be a place you enjoy.
Right. Okay, and here's something I found really interesting. So there's this quote from Benjamin Granger. He's like this big American workplace psychologist.
Oh, yeah, I know him.
And he says that Gen Z's biggest strength is their willingness to challenge the status quo.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. They're not afraid to question things.
Not at all. Which is like awesome, but also, maybe a little,
Disruptive.
yeah, disruptive. Like, how are companies going to handle that? Especially when, Gen Z is going to be like running things soon.
Well, I think it's going to require some like serious flexibility on everyone's part.
Yeah.
Companies are going to have to be open to new ways of doing things. And Gen Z, they're going to have to learn how to uh, work within like the existing structures.
Right. Got to be a balance.
Totally. And, it's not just about challenging the way work is done. It's about challenging like everything.
Yeah. Like what?
Well, like the article talks about how Gen Z is like super aware of, social and environmental issues.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They really care about that stuff. So you can bet that they're going to be pushing for like greener, more sustainable offices.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like energy efficient buildings, less waste, all that good stuff.
Exactly. And, that actually ties back into the whole flexibility thing.
Oh, how so?
Well, like if they can work from home, that means less commuting, right?
Wait, true.
Which means less pollution.
Less cars on the road.
Exactly. So it all kind of connects.
I never thought about it like that. Okay, now here's something that I found kind of surprising. So the article says that Gen Z actually wants to go back to the office.
Really?
Yeah, like 65% of them support some kind of return to office policy.
Huh. That's actually higher than like the general population.
I know, right? It's like they love the flexibility, but they also miss being around people.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you can't really replicate those like water cooler moments online, can you?
No, not really. Like, how do you have like a random brainstorming session on Zoom?
Right. And,
Yeah.
for younger workers especially, there's so much value in like being in the office and learning from more experienced people.
Oh, yeah, totally. Like mentorship and all that. Okay, so now I'm really curious. Like, what does a Gen Z office actually look like?
Well, the article gives some pretty cool examples.
Okay, like what?
So imagine like flexible seating, not just your typical desk and chair. Think like beanbag chairs, standing desks, things that let you move around.
Oh, cool. I actually have a standing desk at home. It's amazing.
See? So it's like taking those kinds of ideas and bringing them into the office.
Awesome. What else?
Well, they also talk about like tech-optimized workstations. So you've got built-in chargers, wireless charging pads, all the
Oh, yeah,
gadgets.
because who doesn't have, like, a million devices these days?
Exactly. And then for those times when you need to really focus, they've got these quiet zones with soundproof booths.
Oh, that's cool, like little pods where you can just, like, zone out and get stuff done?
Exactly. It's all about having different spaces for different needs throughout the day.
I mean, that sounds kinda like, a co-working space, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe like a really nice library at a university.
Yeah, there are definitely some similarities there.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like they're taking the best parts of all those different spaces
Mhm.
and combining them into, like, the ultimate office.
Yeah. And, it's not just about the physical space, right? It's about the whole vibe, the culture.
Right. Like making it a place where people actually want to come and work.
Exactly. And that's something that, companies are going to have to figure out. How do you create a culture that attracts and keeps Gen Z talent?
That's a big question, right? Like, how is all of this going to change, like, everything?
I mean, it's not just about the office itself. It's about how we work, how we collaborate, how we live our lives.
That's a lot to think about.
It is, but it's also super exciting. Who knows what the future holds?
So it sounds like Gen Z is really going to shake things up. And honestly, I'm kind of here for it.
Yeah, me too.
All right, well, that's it for our deep dive today. We've been talking about how Gen Z is going to change the way we work, and
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out.
definitely.
So here's a question for you to think about. If you could design your own dream office, what would you take from Gen Z's vision and, like, make it your own?
That's a good one.
All right, that's all the time we have for today, but keep thinking about it, and we'll catch you next time on our next deep dive.
See ya.